Morning FlossTube, I'm Sally, StitchySally here on FlossTube and also on Instagram. Today is Wednesday the 11th of May 2022 and this is FlossTube number 24. Very warm welcome to my channel about cross stitch. It's really lovely to have you here again, dropping by to see what I've been up to in the last couple of weeks. I do have quite a bit to show you, so I am going to just crack on and get on with it. And this is take number 2. Yeah, if I could have edited, I would have edited it the bit out that I decided that I really shouldn't have talked about. So yeah, might make it shorter because I'm not talking. So first of all, I will show you my book of days for May, and there we go. What am I doing? As you can see, I have stitched every day so far, and I'm popping my Mania starts in here, and I am really enjoying using this book. I don't know why on earth I've never done this before, to be honest, and I'll definitely be doing it again next year. It's just really nice just to have a record of what you've stitched on each day. So I do have some FFOs to show you this time. I'm trying to get that pile down. I'm going to come sooner or later to things that just need framing, and I don't know what I'm going to do then because I don't have a framer anymore, but I do frame my own, but anyway, that's beside the point. So my first FFO is this one, and this is one of Jardin Prive's Histoires de Moutons. I probably butchered that. I don't remember which number this is, but I have finished it as a drum, and I think that's 40 count vintage country mocha, just with the DMCs. And don't those sheep look happy? Very cute sheep. And then is this one, and this is Country Cottage Needleworks Queen Bee. Well, it's part of Queen Bee. I always want to say it's Country Cottage Needle. Did I say? It's Little House Needleworks. Do you know what, menopause brain? It is seriously no good. So you may remember in my last video I was drinking out of a cup that I'd purchased from Primark quite a while ago, and this was what I was planning on mounting in the top of it, and I could not work out for the life of me how to do it so that it actually stayed in. So if you know of any video tutorials that show you how to mount something into a cup or a sugar bowl or anything like that, please point me in the right direction. And then I'm a little bit disappointed in this because, as per usual, couldn't get my bottom straight. So this is a Cosford Rise Stitchery Platinum Jubilee, and they have a shop on Etsy which I will again link down below. And this is stitched on 35 count platinum using DMC, and just finished it into a pillar, some chenille trim from the works which I keep wanting to call Rick Rack, and I've just backed it with some Jubilee fabric. I had to buy fat butter because that was the lowest amount that I could buy, and I decided that I only wanted to stitch one Jubilee piece, so I still had quite a lot left, and I just sold it. But I'm not going to use it again. I don't want. It's not going to. Words. I'm not just going to leave it sat in my stash. I'll see if anybody wants it. And then my final FFO is this one, and that is With Thy Needle and Thread pink Sparrow sampler. That is stitched on 32 count vintage Sun by Swagart, using the called for fancy floss. I'm not quite sure when I stitched this. It was a New Year's Day start. My friend Sue and I, we've start again. We have a New Year's Day start. We don't stitch on the same thing, we just pick something and just start it on New Year's Day. I think it might have been my 2021. That's 2020 start, but I haven't put a year on it, which I really should do. I need to look back at my notes. Right, so I also have a finish, which is Sue Hillis Designs A Study in Blue, and I'm using all the called for 32 count vintage country mocha and gas dungarees. Whoops! Oh dear, I've just pulled everything out. So I have finished the alphabet band, so that's everything is done now. And I had a panic. I went into panic mode. Rather than thinking about things rationally, I just went into panic mode. So I very loosely just put this around the box. And my box is too big. The box that's it's mounted on, sorry, in the pattern is 7 inches. My box is about 7 3/4, something like that. So this band won't go round. And as I say, panic mode. I don't know what I'm going to do, I don't know how I'm going to attach it. And I was talking to Mouse about it over Messenger. And she said, why don't you just add some more motifs and make it longer? Why didn't I think of that? Instead of just blind panic. So, I measured around my box, measured this to where it was, and I thought, I can't do the maths here. Fractions. No fractions. I'm 58, I don't remember. What I learned at school. So I got Jess to help me, because I just couldn't work out how much more I needed on each end. So hopefully this will now go around the box. So all I've done is I've increased the top and bottom borders, and this back stitch here is where you stitch each end together, and then it should slot on the box. So fingers crossed please, because if it doesn't I might cry. I know, I'm being very dramatic. So that is now ready for making up. So we'll see how that goes. Right, I will move on now to Mania. I couldn't make up what I wanted, what I wanted to start for my first Mania, so I asked Abby to choose for me, and she chose this one, and that is Plum Street Samplers Good Company, and she chose it because of the fox. I think she made the right choice. So I'm stitching this with a mixture of fancy flosses if I had them in my stash, and then the rest are just DMC. Oh yeah, I need to get some 301 out because I've run out now. And I'm stitching this on 36 count Picture This Plus Mellow. That's MELLO. it's not showing it true there, but you can see the mottling on it. It's a lovely fabric, really nice fabric. So I stitched on this on the first Monday in May, and then because I finished studying blue, I just thought I'll stitch on it again on the Wednesday as well, and I shall do the same throughout May. And then, as I mentioned in my last floss tube, once May's over, I'll go back to this one and stitch on this on a Monday until it's finished. So that's my first Mania start. Just wondering then, what have I done with my second Mania start? But it's here. So my second Mania start, I put a poll on my Instagram stories, just put a couple in, and this was the winner. So that's the actual front of the chart. It's Ebenezer's Blessing by Eric Michaels Designs, and it's from the Silk Berry collection. I'm not actually going to do this one. The silk gauze is in with the chart to do this one, but I'm doing this one. And I have stitched this before. I stitched it for my friend Barb for our ornament exchange one year. And instead of stitching it on silk gauze, I stitched it on 40 count vintage country mocha. I'm using the same that I use for the Plum Stitch samplers, the Picture This Plus Mellow. I'm not going to fill all this background in. I'm going to, let me see, let's focus in. I'm going to leave that out. So I just picked some fancy flosses from my stash. But I do need, is it the caramel corn or angel hair? But I shall just use something that I've got in my stash. I think I've got one of them, because there is some specialty stitches underneath and above Christmas. So, and that's my start. So I started that on Monday, and then I shall do a little bit more on it tonight, hopefully. And I do like how that's stitching up. Obviously it does come out quite a bit bigger than stitching on silk gauze, but I'm not really bothered about that. I don't think my eyes could cope with silk gauze, to be honest. Right, so last time I spoke about putting Barbara Anna Designs Frida Kahlo on the back burner, but why can I not speak? On the back burner, and she's not coming off that back burner. I'm abandoning her altogether because I just can't face it. So I'll try and unpick what I've stitched, and then just wash the fabric in the hope that the holes will just come back together. So I said that I was going to start this, which is Scarlett House We Are the Sampler Makers. And I just love this. I just love the verse. I love all the little motifs. And I am stitching this in DMC rather than the fancy floss, because I don't think I had any of them anyway. Not entirely sure. Well, actually, yeah, I do. I had at least one of them, but I'm using it, so I'm using it on Winter Rose Manor. And more threads. That's something I've kitted something else up, but just not started it. And that's a start. Well, that's a couple of Thursdays stitching. A couple of Thursdays worth of stitching, I should say. And this is 36 or 35 count light mocha. trims have I got? I think that will be a really nice stitch. So also in there, kitted up but don't know when I'll start it, is another Barbrana. And that is Dreaming Queen Bee, and it's from the Spring Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine issue, the Spring 2022. And I just love her. I think she's absolutely beautiful. And I did actually have the DMC variations as well. So yeah, that's yeah. I treated myself to a subscription just before the bumper December Christmas issue came out last year, because there always seems to be lots of stuff that are really, really nice in those issues. Right, moving on. Whips. So the first whip that I'm going to show you, that's not a new start, is, sorry, something's just popped up in the corner of my screen and distracting me. Silver Creek Samplers Lost and Found. And I finished stitching this sheep. She took some stitching, she really, really did. So this is my Friday night sheep stitch with my lovely friend Barb. And Barb actually said she looked like she should have red lipstick. And I was actually going to give her red lipstick and I forgot. But watch this space, because she still might have red lipstick. So this is where I am at. And this is 25 count vintage sand. And I'm using DMC. So I've made a start on the grass and the water there. And I just think she looks so, so lovely. Such a happy little sheep. Not that little. She took some stitching. So that is that. And then it's like deja vu. My next one is from the book Home from the Holidays, and you can see a little snippet here, Christmas Garden. And I'm stitching it in DMC. How do people keep their threads tidy? Mine always end up looking such a mess. And this is being stitched on 36 count foxglove and lace linen in the colour Latte. And there we are. I do wish I could just show you the beautiful colour of this. It's quite annoying really, but it's an absolutely gorgeous fabric. It's so lovely to stitch on, and I really, really do think if Hazel dies anymore, I need to try and grab myself another piece, because it's, well, another piece of her fabric, any, because it's so nice, but this Latte is a really beautiful colour. So I have been working on the border, because I know if I leave it till the last minute I'm going to hate the border. And I've done this one here, I think. Well, I know I've done that one, but I don't know whether I've done, I think that's about it actually, the bordering. And I just love this, absolutely love it. It is such a beautiful piece. And that is my Tuesday night BBD style with Barb and Mouse. think if I keep doing all these big pieces, I honestly do not know where they're going. And then my next wig is this one, With Thy Needle and Thread, Winter Rose Manor. And I am using nearly all the call for threads. I have subbed 3 of them. And Ellie from the Yorkshire Stitchers, Yorkshire Dolly Mixtures. Sorry, Ellie and Ali, I got that very wrong, didn't I? She was talking about this in their video, their latest video, which I watched yesterday. And the thread for the snow, and how it really is not snow-like at all, which is why I subbed mine for DMC B5200. I just want snow that is not looking really grungy, dirty snow. I want nice white snow. Do excuse the dangling thread because I didn't finish off, and that's how I'm getting on with it. 40 count vintage country mocha, and I had started on the snow at the bottom, and then when I picked it up, not last Sunday, the Sunday before, I just couldn't face a lot of white stitching, so I started on the border, and then when I picked it up again this last Sunday, I did more on the border. And again, that house is really not showing its true colour. It looks a lot nicer than that. It's a lot more pinky. That's that. Thread is in fine fettle. So that's that. And then my Saturday night, sorry I forgot to say, that was my birthday start. I'm using the hashtag StitchySally's winter birthday sale. I always forget that. So as I said, where am I? Saturday is my BBD sale with Lainey. Yes, I'm stitching a bit of BBD, and this is the one that I'm doing. It's How Does the Lily Grow from the Garden Club series, and this is being stitched in a mixture. Well, it's 3 fancy floss and the rest DMC, and that's where I'm at. It's 35 count platinum linen by Zweigart, and I do love how this is stitching up. It's really, really pretty. And I don't know if I've mentioned, I might have done, but my plan for these is a box. I saw someone had finished them into a box. Whether it'll go that way, who knows? It could be interesting, let's put it that way. Ooh! Nearly knocked my glass over, that was a bit too close. I forgot. Sorry. I forgot to share the gift that I stitched for Michelle. Michelle used to cross stitch, and now she mostly knits, and she is a very prolific knitter. She does some gorgeous things. Yeah, I did mention last time that I'd had a finish, but I couldn't show it. Showed it in my first take and forgetting it in my second. So this is La Comtesse Le Point de Croix. I've butchered it, and it is a freebie on her blog. I will try and link below to her blog if I can remember. And it's Think Happy Little Thoughts, and Michelle really liked it. She has cats. They're not black cats, but I just really liked the contrast between the black and the red. It's got very bright. Yep, I thought it had. There we go, that's better. Why is it? You know, I don't have the automatic brightness turned on, but it just goes, yes, let's make it brighter. Your battery's only at 5%, but we'll make it bright. Right. Now that I've remembered that, my final whip is Kathy Barrick, The Moons of 2022, which I said last time I was going to use as my Stitch When Watching Floss Tube project. My idea is, even though it may not get finished and framed this year, it's highly unlikely because it is a big piece, is to get the moons stitched this year, because then at least I can say I stitched the moons of 2022 in 2022. So yeah, I don't stitch on it every time I watch Floss Tube, because if my husband's out on a night, I stitch on whatever I should be stitching on that night rather than stitching on this. So this gets stitched in an afternoon if I happen to sit down and watch some Floss Tube. So I'm not using the MPI silks, I'm using the DMC conversion. And I do like these colours. These colours are really, really nice. And all the blues are lovely. So I'm stitching this on 25 count vintage marble by Zweigart, 1/1. And that's where I'm at. I've got February, March, April, May and June done. So I shall do January and then move down to do the rest of them, July through to December. Really like that. Part of me is like, why have you started another biggie? But it happened. Right, so that's all my whips. I've showed you my FFOs, I've showed you my Mania, I've showed you my finish. Right, haul. Yeah, I have a little bit of haul. It didn't last long, did it? So, last week, I hurt my back. Now, my back is funny. You know, you're getting old. All I was doing, I was on my knees, crawling across the landing, dusting my skirting boards, and in between the spells on the staircase. Well, not the staircase, the top bit of the, I don't know what it's called. And something just went in my lower back. Now, thankfully, it wasn't too bad. And I managed to carry on doing what I was doing. And I thought I'll just rest it for the rest of the day, and hopefully by the time I get up Friday morning, it won't be too bad. But then what I did on Friday morning, I made it worse. And it involved a cat, of all things. So we have, and I'm going to waffle, I'm very, very sorry, no, you can move on if you want. We have this cat. We don't, it's not our cat. Used to belong to somebody else and then it chose somebody else. So we've known this cat around our neighbourhood for quite a number of years. It's getting on now. And all three of us, not so much my husband, we love him. He's called Ronnie. And he's the most gorgeous, friendliest cat you would ever want to meet. We never knew who he was with until the first lockdown, and we found out he lives a few doors down. And Jess spotted him in the garden. So she stole my outdoor slippers. So I went to get my trainers and, yeah, pulled my back again. So I haven't been very happy with myself because obviously it was my fault that I made it worse. I did get some love with Ronnie, but that's beside the point. So I've been very fed up. For a couple of days I couldn't walk straight. I was walking lopsided because that's what happens if my back's bad. So yeah, I had a bit of a popped bit of an order in with Patchwork Rabbit on Monday, and one of these, Elaine, Ellie Welly Stitcher, I'm blaming you for this. Makes a change because Elaine usually blames me for things. The fact that she likes buying sheep charts is my fault. But you know, hey, I'll take a hit. I'm not bothered. You know, if you want to stitch sheep charts, then yeah, absolutely. Anybody who knows me will know I just love sheep, so you know. Anyway, I digress. So on my last floss tube, Elaine had commented and said, have you seen the sampler with the sheep border? Well, of course, I just went, whoa, what, sheep border? Tell me more about it. What is it? So she told me. I went and had a look. And I said, oh, it's lovely, but that's a massive house. And she also said that Carol, Saltbox Stitcher, had showed it in her latest video. She showed her finish. Not her current video, the video before that. It was, at that point, her latest. And she had shown quite a few of her framed pieces with lovely borders. And this was it. So as soon as I saw it finished, that was it. Because sometimes, no disrespect to the designers or anything like that, sometimes the cover photo just does not do a piece justice. So Elaine, I bought it. Would you like a sal? Not yet, quite possibly not this year, but would you like a sal? So yeah, I don't know if you can see, I don't know if I can get it close enough. Sheep. And a shepherdess. But look at that house. Just look. In fact, that's not a house, is it? That's a mansion. And all that grass. I'm going to have a breakdown doing all this. But yeah, anyway, I think I will probably find something else to put in here instead. But like I say, I'm not going to be stitching it. But Elaine, let me know if you fancy a sal at some point. And thank you. Thank you for enabling me. So then, because one chart cannot travel alone, I bought this. Erica Michaels Design Stitch All the Things. I've been looking at this since it came out, actually, at market. And I think I'm going to have a go at the berry as well. And I do have an order coming from 123 Stitch as well, which has got some of this on, because, yeah. So maybe I can behave myself again now. But it was just basically, I was just so fed up. And I thought I'm going to have a pick me up because I am so fed up with myself. I'm so cross with myself. So yeah. It has the little buttons with it as well, which are really lovely. Thankfully, hopefully I'm getting there. But I'm not sleeping very well because I can't get comfortable. And I'm waffling again. Last night, I woke myself up snoring. Now I complain at my husband because my husband's snoring is an absolute nightmare. But I snored that hard. It hurt my nose and throat. So what on earth? I do not know. And then I had a nightmare. And I am prone, I have no idea why, but I had a nightmare. And sometimes I do scream. Most of the time I'm just making stupid noises. But there have been a few occasions where I have actually screamed. And I hope to God the neighbours can't hear it. But then, to top that, another one. And I was shouting for my dad. I often have a dream where I go to the house knowing full well that he's no longer with us. But when I get there, there's lights on. And I'm thinking, I didn't leave the lights on. Why are the lights on? And I walk in and he's there in his chair. And it's quite upsetting because then you wake up and you remember, you know, even though he's there as large as life in his chair, you wake up and you remember that he's not here. And it can be quite distressing. So yeah, last night was not a good night. And I'm waffling and I am sorry. This is the life of StitchySally. Anyway, that is me done. This is my second attempt. I've still managed to make it as long as the first one, even though I haven't talked about what I talked about in the first one because I decided I'll leave it until I can officially say something to do with Jess again. But anyway, that is me done. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for all your lovely comments, for subscribing, to the new subscribers that I've had. It is still up, down, but I think I'm about 25 off 700 subscribers, which is great. Tell your friends. Sorry, I am going to go now. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great stitchy fortnight. I'll see you in a couple of weeks. See what I've been up to in the next 2 weeks. Stay safe and look after yourselves, look after your loved ones, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.